Hey guys, this is Michael McJunkin again, and 2016, many will complain about how it wasn't a very good year because of a couple problems they ran into, and of course a few relatable mistakes, especially the fact that, well, a bunch of actresses and a bunch of good people have passed away. Like, in Patrick Starr's words, everyone died. The end. But what I'm about, but some can agree that it was also good for some movies, but bad for some. But I never saw most of the bad movies, and there's also certain good films I haven't been able to see, like Arrival or other films. So excuse me if any of those films are not on the list. But thought I'd go over my top 10 favorite movies of 2016. But first, I want to name a couple honorable mentions. Like the BFG. It was a good way to. A good first start to bring Steven Spielberg and Disney collaborating together on their adaptation of the story. And of course, Disney's The Jungle Book of 2016. This live action remake was able to do a lot of things good, like with the actor, even John Debney's musical score, and of course, the way it actually had the dark element of the original storybook as well. And of course, Pete's Dragon remake. It's definitely much different from the other old adaptation of Pete's Dragon, but it did a good job, like, for doing its own thing with its story. And of course, Kubo and the Two Strings. Definitely one of the best of Leica, and of course, like, it proves that stop motion is not dead. And of course, Doctor Strange for being a good way to introduce another new character for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And now, oh, and Kung Fu Panda Free, which I wouldn't say is the best out of the three, but it's definitely like in the middle. Like, I still prefer Kung Fu Panda 2 though. And now, onto my top 10 favorite movies of 2016. Number 10, Star Trek Beyond. It's still not really actually, number 10 is Star Wars Rogue One. This film, it was. I really loved the other one, like Star Wars The Force Awakens, a bit more. But Star Wars Rogue One was still a good way to like introduce some of the things that people were questioning about the original, like a good prequel to the original Star Wars. And at number 9, we have Star Trek Beyond, which also had good special effects and computer animation that was able to get us fooled into thinking they were real. And of course, there's good musical score. Now, I wouldn't call it as good as the first Star Trek personally, but it is much better than Star Trek Into Darkness, like they learned from their mistakes in that. And at number 8, this is gonna surprise everyone, but Ghostbusters 2016, I call the most underrated movie of the 2010s. Now, I just want to say I absolutely love like the chemistry between these female comedians that they brought in, like Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCartney, and and Leslie Jones, and Owens. In fact, and of course, I also like the comedy. Now, as a remake or at least a parallel universe to Ghostbusters, I wouldn't call it as good as the original, but it's a lot better than Ghostbusters 2, which I didn't see, but I just don't think I'm gonna take a chance. But I'm gonna. But before I go to the next one, I'm just gonna say it. I love Ghostbusters 2016. Okay, now at number 7, while the Angry Mob is waiting, at number 7 we have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It was definitely a great way to introduce, the new who's another her movie based on another storybook by the same author of Harry Potter, especially one that actually takes place before Harry Potter. Uh, it has great special effects and good interactions between the creatures as well as the humans. In fact, I definitely like that. Like the sidekick characters. The side characters were great as well. Oh, and at number 6 we have Keanu. Bruno, which was definitely a good comedy to focus on a couple black guys. And of course, that kitten Keanu is very much adorable, and this is probably one of those kitty comedies that I highly recommend more than that other kitty comedy called Nine Lives. In fact, well, here's a fun fact. Keanu is actually a film where they were using different kittens, like a bunch of different kittens playing the same kitten, like for each stunt or hunt. So some may find it a bit jarring, but I never really noticed it like during the whole filming. Well, maybe a couple, but that's just a nitpick. Keanu was definitely a cute and fun, an R-rated comedy. And at number 5, we have Finding Dory. Oh yes, one of the most best Pixar sequels. Like, I wouldn't call it as good as Toy Story 3 or Finding Nemo, but they were actually able to at least make it just as good as the first Finding Nemo. As well as great animation and beautiful atmosphere and even musical score. Great musical score. I laughed, I cried, it moved me. In fact, this is probably an example of how to do a movie sequel that focuses on a side character better. Like, much better than Cars 2, I'll say and agree with. And at number 4, we have. At number 5, we have Moana. This is definitely not as good as the next Disney film I'll get to later, because, well, it does feel standard and predictable like any other Disney princess film, most namely Little Mermaid. But I definitely still enjoyed it. Like, in fact, this is probably another of my favorite Disney movies of the 2000s. Right next to Lilo and Stitch and The Princess and the Frog and Frog and of course and of course Wreck-It Ralph and Big Hero 6 and Frozen. In fact, Moana also uses great chemistry between Dwayne The Rock Johnson and the other her girl Maui, who's played by this new actress who does a great job, by the way. And of course, great animation, and beautiful water. And of course, great songs by the same team that did Hamilton. So, Moana, what can I say except you're welcome? And at number 3, we have Deadpool. It's like the most funniest Marvel comedy, like the funniest raunchy R-rated comedy that I laughed at, that my dad and I laughed at the most. In fact, this is probably like my personal favorite of the X-Men universe, and that is saying something. In fact, and of course, I especially like the comedy from the wisecracking Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, who's definitely like Andrew Garfield's version of Spider-Man, only very raunchy. And I also like TJ Miller's appearance. In fact, TJ Miller can be the best part of any bad movie he's in, but he's also great in any good movie he's in, and I personally look forward to hearing TJ Miller play the lead role in the upcoming Emoji movie. But that's for another story. Deadpool is a definitely raunchy, but very funny movie. And at number 2, Zootopia. Now, this is probably my favorite animated movie of the year, and this one has great chemistry between Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps. In fact, great musical score by Michael Giacchino, and I swear that Shakira's song Try Everything will never leave my head. In fact, great animation and, of course, even good action scenes that never bored me. In fact, Zootopia is definitely one of the best films, and and it does this message about prejudice and racism, um, and very creative for the way they are able to focus on Zootopia as well as how they explain things. And granted, it does use a third act villain twist, which is getting predictable and old, but that doesn't bother me much. I never even see it coming. And at least they don't use it in Moana this time. Then, Zootopia. Try everything. And at my number one favorite movie of 2016, Captain America Civil War. Though, honestly, from what it looks like, it should have been called Avengers 3. But, Captain America Civil War was still, great. Like, nice energy. And, of course, Captain America is always likable, like he is in the first two movies. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and of course this one, Civil War, is my personal favorite of the franchise. He's very humorous, and of course, sometimes it is hard to choose which side to be on, whether it's Team Iron Man or Team Captain America, because they both make suitable arguments. But it does manage to end on a fine note, and it all ends happily, and it gives us at least some things to look forward to in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like the upcoming Spider-Man Homecoming. Well, that's all my favorite movies of 2016. What are your favorites? Leave them down in the comments below. You can comment them and let me know. And I'll see you next time. I'll see you next year, or this year, as this is now. I totally look forward to what we'll be getting, like another show about to be on the big screen, and others. Bye.